Hello, my friends. My name is Salome. I am an archivist at the Grand Archive, the patron librarian of the Grand Archive, and one of the eyes of the valley. Recently, there has been an insurgence of informational videos on the social media platform Valley X. The archive sees this as an opportunity to expand our halls of public learning to the digital era via Valley X. We are pleased now to present to you the first of many public book readings that will be published by the archive on the social media platform Valley X. We thank you for your continued patronage to the archive and hope that you enjoy this new medium of storytelling. The book that we will be reading today is The Golem Prince. Though no name for an author has been recovered, it has persisted through the eras as a beloved folk tale shared by the people of the valley. Without further ado, let's commence the book reading. The Golem Prince. In the beginning, the Leviathan Dervis was the only true beast of the earth. He scoured the lands, searching for his brothers and sisters, or things like him. In the end, he found none and became lonely. To end his suffering, he created the golems, children unto him who were made of the same stone and the same earth as he. The golems were his, and his alone, but they possessed no life, no humanity, and no free will. To him, they were but figures to reflect his shallow but whole control upon the deep places of the earth and its crust. He reflected upon his creations in anguish, for he was still alone, and they were only extensions of him. That is, until the creation of Matisse. This golem was no different from any of those before him, and it is unknown how he gained the ability to speak, think, and feel freely. It is said that even to this day, Dervis knows not what possessed his only son. Dervis looked upon his creation with his eyes wild and full of joy. "The sleeping prince shall wake again," were the only words spoken in the land of caverns and stone that day. It was a mighty echo within the tombs of the earth, which was Dervis's kingdom. One day, Matisse was upon the edge of his father's kingdom, when he heard an unusual noise before him. Bursting through the ground like a newborn child, he saw something he had never seen in the entirety of his years. A human being. Primitive as they were, he felt a special connection with these creatures, for he, like they, possessed a mind of their own, and the ability to judge. It was this day he realized that he was not like his brothers, that he shared more in common with these fleshlings rather than his own family. Like all curious creatures, he began to watch. The humans didn't know what to think when they first discovered Matisse. They believed that he was some sort of monster intent on devouring them. In reality, Matisse stood as their protector, a silent guardian. It was in his years of watching mankind develop that he became friends with a small boy, whose name has been lost to time, for time is uncaring, unforgiving, and cruel. Matisse had learned the lesson the hard way, as while he stayed in his shell, feeling none of the cruel effects of time, his friend, the boy, was not so lucky. While they could only communicate through symbols, Matisse knew that his friend's time was near. Dervis soon discovered where his prized son had been sneaking off to, and, in his rage, he caused tremors and earthquakes to rile the ocean. Soon, a massive wave, the size of which Matisse knew only his father would have conjured, began crashing upon the shores of the valley. The village of the boy was in grave peril, and Matisse knew it. Pulling himself from within the rooted earth, he began to trudge over to the natural arc of rock that served as a natural entrance to the village. Drawing a few unknown symbols to the now old man whose company he enjoyed so dearly, Matisse let out a cry that was heard throughout all the places of the world. All the animals, the people, and his father had heard this cry of contempt and betrayal. Sematis looked back at the old man once more before placing his large arms upon both sides of the pass. He began to widen and change, to fit the gap the pass had so eagerly left wide. It was with this last act of compassion towards humanity that ended Sematis's life. When Dervis peered from his domain in the earth, he saw humanity alive and strong, and that his most prized son was nowhere to be seen. It was only upon closer inspection that Dervis noticed the sin he had committed. In his anger he had destroyed the very son he held so dear. Immense sadness crushing his very soul, Dervis burrowed deep into the core of Kay. It is said that Dervis refuses to return to the surface as he is reminded of his terrible failure. The end. Thank you for listening.